Your story is so incredible because you managed to stay in your home and complete university with all of the war around you going on. What was that feeling like when you graduated?
I think that that's really hard to describe, as I didn't expect that I will have to finish my university in such circumstances. However, even before the war, I knew that we are brave, we are resilient, even unbreakable somehow. So I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. I will finish because I had goal and I had dreams and I wanted them to fulfill them. So that was really difficult because, I had to write my final thesis just in the shelter because of the constant air alarms. And that was also hard because of the internet connectivity was so slow and low. So it was hard to find, like the spot so I could still continue to write in my thesis. Nevertheless, I managed to finish my university, and even though I have a diploma with high honor, so I was really proud of myself because I managed it.
Congratulations. It's just an incredible achievement and such a testament to you and to your country. You tell this incredible story of one night when you had gone to bed and it was a seemingly casual gesture where you took your shoes off to go to bed, and that was a different thing that you'd been doing since the war started, because typically you were going to bed with your shoes on in case there was a bombing. Tell us what happened that night.
Oh, I guess that's the scariest night I've ever experienced in my life. And that was probably like 2 or even 3 weeks after the war started in Ukraine. So we were so exhausted because we had at least to spend first 14 days in the shelter. So I wasn't even at home. And there were so many people around me, and most of them I even didn't know. I saw them for the first time in my life. And we were really exhausted because, as you mentioned, we had to have our clothes on because that was winter and I couldn't take off my shoes. But I was so exhausted and I was like, okay, I really want to just sleep, some basics in our life. So I took my shoes off, and then I heard immediately the air alarm and the explosion right next to our building. And of course, the first thought that came to my mind, I was like, okay, I really need to survive. So I ran directly to the shelter, like barefoot. And that was winter. And thank God I didn't catch cold and everything was fine. Probably because I was, I was under the stress. So I had to cope with everything. But that was the scariest night. The next day I cried the whole day because I didn't know what to do. My parents are far away from me. They are on the eastern part of Ukraine, which is super dangerous situation right now. So I was just by myself. So I had to make some really hard decisions in my life, but I decided to stay because I had my job. I had my friends here, like my life here. And when you're just 20 and your life just started, I decided that I will continue and I don't want to lose what I have right now.
There's been so much grief and loss in Ukraine, but what you're doing since you graduated is gathering the stories with World Vision of Ukrainians who've endured so much. How important is it to you as a local journalist to be gathering those stories and recording history?
That's very vital for me, because even now I'm really grateful for having me today, because it's very important to share our stories. It's very important for the whole world to hear us, not forget about us, because it's 2 years and even sometimes we feel that we are exhausted and we are just fed up with everything. However, it's really important because we still have a lot of attacks, unfortunately. Even yesterday, I woke up because of the explosions in Kiev. So unfortunately, that's kind of like the reality. And as you mentioned, I started working as a communications officer with World Vision because that was really something important, because I really wanted to share the stories of my fellow Ukrainians with the whole world. And to be honest, that was really hard. Because when, for the first time, I saw the eyes of the children and I realized that they are not children anymore, and they know what's going on, and they know that their parents are not with them. Some parents are dead, or they lost their home. That was very painful. And again, I cried after all these stories, but you cannot cry just like in front of them. So you had to hold your emotions, which was also hard. I even started my therapy sessions with a psychologist because, you really need help. And that's not something bad. You can come to people and ask for this help. And yeah, it was just very vital for us. And, I'm very happy because I received a lot of feedback from people around the world when I started sharing these stories. And for me, that's really something important. I know that other people will never forget about that.
They certainly won't, and it's been a real privilege to speak to you, Oleksandra. Take care, and thanks for the work you're doing.
Thank you.